I think, Dr. Gehan, you said the 300 hours of work, I think define, it gives the students the idea that the size of the project. I think, can we say like that, usually the size of the project can be classified into small, medium and large. And this 300 hours fit to where?
Yeah, that's right, Dr. Caldera. Now, the number of hours spent is a good measure to link with the scope of the project and identify what type of a project you will be carrying out as part of this individual project. Now, with respect to what you mentioned as a type of projects, we can look at small projects, medium scale, large scale. It depends on who uses, for what purpose, and so forth. And the idea of a small project is something you will do within a small period of time, and you can come up with an end product, which means from few hours to few days or few weeks, you finish a small project.
Yeah.
Now, a medium project, what was meant was that would take few months, and not up to years, but few months of work.
Yeah.
Now, when you involve a project with several resource persons, now these few months can be shortened to few weeks.
All right.
But this is a individual work. So therefore, your contribution will expand to few months of work. Now, this few months of work is actually 2 to 3 months, but spread over 1 year's time. Now, when you are doing the project, you won't spend day to day on this. You spend a certain amount of time. Now, when you take 300 hours and span over 1 year, like 52 weeks, then you get less than 10 hours, 7-8 hours of work for a week.
Yeah.
But there are critical times of your study time. You can't focus on the project. Now, you have a semester 5 exam, semester 6 exam. Now, during the study period for those exams, you will not want to concentrate on the project, because you are supposed to study on other courses as well.
Yeah.
So, there are few months which you won't spend on the project. So, and then when you look at it, it comes to 10-12 hours of work for a week. Now, if you take 1 day has 8 hours, so which means if you spend 1 full day for a week on this project, you have spent already a good amount of time.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to some critical deadlines, you can spend little bit more time and catch up for the average to be 12. So you have to plan something on that nature. Now, let me briefly try to describe what a project now the project is. Now, if you look at the project, you would have come across this term from your school age. Now, project is you do when you are told to do something by somebody. If it is a small thing, you may not call it as a project, but if it is to organize something involving few people, then it becomes a small project. Now, if you ignore with respect to the computing aspect and look at something at home, now you may want to have some sort of a tea party or a lunch at home, maybe to celebrate your birthday or some small event. Now, at a glance you may think, okay, it's a straightforward thing. You just tell your family members to come, then you cook something and give. But if you look at it little bit detail, that means if you analyze the activities needed for that, it is not that straightforward, because you have to tell the people and make sure they know to come. Then you have to know where and when you are having it, and the time and so forth. Then you have to plan what type of food you want to give. Then you have to plan from where you buy the cook. Are you going to cook yourself or order some catering and things like that. So you have to go into various details. Now, if this party is something more common, regular type of thing, it's like every Friday evening you meet and have a small party. Then because you have done it frequently, within few hours you can organize it.
Right.
So that means a small scale of a project.
Right.
Obviously, you won't do it alone. You ask somebody else to bring the food stuff, somebody else to cook and things like that. You do it as a collaborative work. Now, in project, ideally it happens as a collaborative work, but because we look for individual contribution, you can't do in a similar manner. You have to also keep track of your contribution.
Yeah.
Like you did the part of inviting people. Your mother did the cooking and things like that. Now, that is we talk with respect to a small project. Now, if you take a little bit more complex situation, can be that, okay, we want to have a little bit bigger party or to celebrate a little bit with more valuable event, maybe your 21st birthday or something.
Okay.
Then you want to
where the more organization is needed.
More organization is needed, and then you want to celebrate with little bit more people, like your friends. You want to be part of it and things like that. So then you have to think: can you accommodate all in the same place you had your earlier tea party or the Friday evening party? Most of the time you can't, because that evening party you have it in a small room using one table. Here you have to have several tables. Then you have to plan the area for them to sit and wait before having their meals. So then you have to think: can you accommodate in your home, or you need to go for a small hall and things like that. Now, that's one aspect of physical arrangement. Now, there is a budgetary aspect as well. Now, you can't plan it without knowing your limitations, because ultimately you have to spend for the party. So, whatever you like to do, you won't be able to do, because easiest is to invite to a hotel, tell the hotel to do everything, and you go there. But that also is not that straightforward. But then, how much it will cost, what is your budget, how to balance it within the budget, there's so much of planning. So when you are doing this project, you have to do similar tasks. Now, when you are automating something, you have to automate so that all the users are satisfied with your system. One person will have one view, another person will have another view. So you have to have a compromise solution in your integrated solution. So which means there is more planning, more analysis, more discussion to come up with the appropriate solution. So if you go to another level, for example, you want to organize a wedding. Now, that is something you may plan for a year or so sometimes, because it has more complexity. You want to make sure you haven't omitted anybody. You have to look at various details, how a table is organized, what you dress, your makeup, and various things.
Because the failure is very significant.
Yeah, very significant. So, usually those type of things cannot be done by one individual. That's why the family and actually both families get together and do. So, those type of things are actually these large complex projects. So, we don't expect you to do that level of project, which is not possible to do as alone during a period of time. So, with respect to an individual project, with respect to an IT, What we are looking at is the idea of learning information technology is to see how the information technology can help in help for organization or individual to do their tasks better. So to improve productivity. So various software solutions are developed to meet that need. Now, if you look at what is a software, basically software is a collection of programs. Now, that means using one small program or one program, you can't give a solution. Right. It must have several components. So, depending on the complexity, you will have 10 or 50 or 100 programs, because each one will do